Hello and welcome to Gaming is Therapy. Today I'm bringing you episode number 86 of our fantasy EFL football, and it's time to talk about the max chip in League 2. We'll discuss clubs and certain players that might be a good idea to pick going into game week 37. But before we get into that, I saw this on X, Fantasy EFL Playoffs. I can't wait for that personally. Really excited to see what that actually entails. So keep an eye out for that on the EFL Fantasy website, or perhaps on X if you're on X. Don't get me wrong, I use it, but I don't use it extensively. So as we can see, the current table and the current form. From a Cole U perspective, I'd rather look at the last 10 because we were first. 7, 1 and 2. Absolutely beautiful. 22 points in that period. Fantastic. Unfortunately, we're looking at the last 6 games, and we're 8th in the table, which is not great. 3, 1 and 2, 9 and 7, 10 points, which I'll gladly take. It keeps us 8th in the table. We're on the coat strings of Grimsby. Hopefully Grimsby will slip up. Hopefully Notts County will slip up. Hopefully AFC Wimbledon will slip up and we can just slip into the playoffs, which would be fantastic. I'd love a day out at Wembley. That would be absolutely beautiful, but we'll have to wait and see. Table overall is looking really tight for the playoffs. And at the top, I mean, Vale, Bradford, Walsall. Who saw Walsall? Even Doncaster I should throw in there as well. Who saw Walsall throwing it away as they have? I'm sure, I know it's not intentional, but it's just, they were so far ahead and it's literally all come crumbling down around them. Bradford have been doing well in the last few weeks. Obviously their form currently is not the greatest. They're 14th in the table, 2 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses, but it's not as good as Walsall's. Literally 4 draws and 2 losses it's mental. Vale have done extremely well, really have. They beat us. They were the better side on the day by a country mile. We were absolutely awful. They've won 5 and lost 1 of their last 6, which is phenomenal. I mean, truly looking at that table, I know we're on 65 points. You've got Chesterfield, Salford, 62 points. Oh my God, you could even say from 11th can get into the playoff. Honestly, the EFL is just the most competitive league in the world. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how the championship unfolds at top and bottom. Again, if you look at League 1, you're excited to see how that unfolds top and bottom. And the same with League 2. Probably not the bottom because those teams are pretty much done and dusted. Carlisle and Morecambe, if I'm honest. I don't see them having a fighting chance of getting past Accrington. I don't see Accrington Tranmere capitulating that much, even though in saying that Accrington Stanley are 23rd in the table with 4 draws and 2 losses. And Carlisle, ironically, are 10th with 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses as well. Interesting. So it depends on their fixtures as well. But there'll be the differentials for teams. Would I pick any of those teams? Who knows? So speaking of teams, Port Vale first, what can we say? Best team in the league at this current point, averaging 2.5 points, speaks volumes for them. I expect them to do well over the weekend. I think they've got some really, really good fixtures. We've then got Salford. Again, they're doing extremely well, averaging 2 points a game, which is phenomenal at this point. And it's keeping them in amongst it. They're an outside chance for the playoffs, but they're still in it. They're still in it. Then we've got Tranmere, form come good just at the right time, I would say. Averaging 1.83 points per game, keeping them out of that bottom half of the table, or the bottom 2 on the table. You then got Cheltenham, who are the opposite, averaging 0.67 points per game, which is really not good at this stage of the season. And then, of course, Accrington Stanley, who are doing the opposite to Tranmere, who need to be getting points. They're actually getting 0.67 points per game. And then we have the MK Dons, who have done enough in previous weeks, but in the last 6 games they've been averaging 0.67 points, and they're lucky they had some good form prior to this. Otherwise they could have been easily dragged into that battle at the bottom, but I think they'll be fine. What team picks would I recommend for League 2? Port Vale and Salford. Salford have got Accrington Stanley and Morecambe. Accrington's a home game. I think it's a home game. Is it a home game? So Salford have got Accrington Stanley and Morecambe, home and away. So I expect them to be really winnable games for Salford. I like to think they'd come out of that with 6 points, which in reflection would give them 68 points, which makes the last 2 games really interesting, depending on how the teams above them fare in the same game week. And then got Port Vale away to Carlisle, who will be playing for pride and an opportunity to put a dent into the potential champions. And then they're at home to Grimsby, which I expect Vale to beat Grimsby. I want Vale to beat Grimsby because that would do Cole U a massive favour. I would have picked Cole U because I like their fixtures as well. They've got Crewe, which I think is a very winnable game at home. The only problem, they have got Donny away, which again I think is a winnable game, but it'll be a really tough game. But we have got a lot of injuries. I know the Messiah Payne is a doubt. We haven't heard if he's going to be fit. I think the club will play their cards close to their chest. To be honest, they don't want to give away anything to Crewe nor Donny. I also think Bishop is injured as well, or a doubt. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. So I would have recommended Cole Yu, but honestly, with the doubt around what players are going to be fit, yeah, I can't recommend Cole Yu as team picks. From a player perspective, I have to be honest, there's only a few players I'd really consider. First one is Cheek. Got to be honest, I think he's going to be in my game week 37 team. I like their fixtures, Morecambe and Swindon, so I think they're games that he can get goals in. I would recommend Stevens at AFC Wimbledon, but I find him to be more of a home player than an away player. I mean, they're home to Chesterfield, but they're away to Gillingham. And then you've got to be looking at Port Vale. Obviously, it's Jatta, McGoldrick. Who would play, though? Hold on, that's Notts County, John. Got to be looking at Notts County, which is Jatta and McGoldrick. But who plays? Obviously, Toll at Port Vale. That is Port Vale. He is Port Vale. Well done, John. There may be an outside shout. Someone like Matt at Walsall is worth a look if he's fit. And maybe even a Harry Smith, because he picks up a good amount of points against Bradford. I mean, a 9-goal filler. Swindon 5, Bradford 4. What a filler. He scored 2 in that game, I think. And they've got good fixtures. Grimsby and Bromley. I'd like to see him get a goal against Grimsby. You know, and he's more than capable of scoring against Bromley. Actually, after that, they've got Gillingham, so that's worth bearing in mind for game week 38. Don't want to get too ahead of myself. But yeah, Harry Smith is a player that you can honestly have a look at. He has got the potential to get points. The fixtures look suitable. From a midfield perspective, it's going to be the normal suspects. So you've got to be looking at Allen at Walsall. Quality little player. Molyneux at Doncaster, as long as I don't pick him. If I pick him, move him out of your team because he won't get you any points. I would say Jack Payne, but we're not 100% sure about his fitness, so he's one to consider. Keep in mind, Jack Payne is phenomenal. I think he's got something stupid like 90 key passes out of the 40 games he's played, with 15 assists, 8 goals, 12 interceptions and 30 shots on target. An absolute messiah. As I say, he's doubtful. When you're looking at someone like Morris at Harrogate, you know, he gets a lot of key passes, a lot of interceptions. He's a good little player. And of course, I'd always have a shout for Gilby. And if you're thinking about defenders, you've got O'Connor, Hall, the Demon in defence, Stubbs. I mean, it's the usual suspects, but you've got to be looking at those ilk player and just checking out their fixtures. I mean, the Demon in defence is probably not going to be in my team because he's playing Cole Yu. So if he had an amazing game and it cost Cole Yu, I'd be really gutted. So I'm not picking him on that basis. I know it sounds stupid, but yeah, football fans, we are a bit weird. Anthony O'Connor from Harrogate, he's worth a massive look because they've got Walsall and then they've got Fleetwood. Yeah, Fleetwood. And he's racked up a ridiculous 447, is it? 447 clearances. 52 tackles, 48 blocks in 41 appearances. Mental. It's over 10 clearances a game, which is phenomenal. I want to say that's nearly 100 ahead of anyone else in League 2. So yeah, he's definitely worth a look. Don't get me wrong, hasn't got massive points. I think Hall's in second place with 276 over the season. I think O'Connor's got 283. So it's not massive points difference, but he guarantees your clearances, that's for sure. And then between the sticks, you've got to be looking at Macy. Matt Macy's been phenomenal all season. The most clean sheets along with Goodman, AFC Wimbledon. Again, with Goodman, if I pick him, don't pick him because he never seems to do well for me. Probably won't be picking him if I'm honest. I'm probably looking down the League 1 goalkeeper route, maybe Championship. Not quite made my mind up, to be honest. Sam Walker, ex-Cole Yu, gotta give him a shout. He's had a phenomenal season, to be fair. Perhaps even Smith at Bromley. I mean, again, Bromley have got favourable fixtures, Morecambe and Swindon. Yeah, I struggle with the goalkeepers in League 2. I normally just go with Goodman, which is not always clever. I only have limited keepers that I use. You've got Bass, of course, at Notts County. It's another shout for a goalkeeper. Again, it comes down to fixtures. It really does come down to fixtures, current form, who's playing for what. It's going to be a mental game week. Really is. Hopefully some of this insight will help you, especially looking at the fixtures, doing that bit of research, looking at some players, doing some research on those players. Don't do what I do, which always seem to pick injured players to begin with when I do my first draft. But yeah, there's a lot to play for. I mean, from a team perspective, though, I definitely think Port Vale is a cracking shout, and Salford. Even if you picked both of them as your two teams, I think they're good shouts. But I think for me, definitely Port Vale. I like their games too much. I'd even be looking at Vale players, to be honest, and make it like a triple, 2 Vale players, Vale as a team. I don't always like to do that, but again, it depends on the fixtures, depends on the actual importance of the games, current form, etc. But yeah, hopefully that's helped you, and we'll leave it there. And as always, I will catch you later.